Belief in the messengers. People's need for a divine message. People need a divine message to show them Allah's laws and guide them to the right path. Indeed, a divine message is the spirit, light, and the very life of the world, without which the world would certainly be lifeless, and man would be plunged into the darkness of ignorance and misguidance. It is for this reason that Almighty Allah calls his message a spirit, for there is no life without a spirit. As the Quran says, "We have thus revealed a spirit to you by our command. You knew neither the scripture nor the faith, but we made it a light, guiding with it whomever we will of our servants. You are indeed guiding to the straight path." Surat Ash-Shura 42:52. Even though the intellect can generally distinguish between right and wrong, it cannot possibly comprehend the details of such a distinction, nor carry out acts of worship in the right manner without the dictates of revelation and the divine message. Therefore, success and happiness can only be attained by following the guidance of Allah's messengers. Similarly, no accurate line of demarcation can be drawn between right and wrong without following in their footsteps. Thus, whoever rejects the divine message will definitely lead a miserable and wretched life, depending on the extent of their rejection of it. It is one of the pillars of faith. Belief in Allah's messengers is one of the 6 pillars of Iman, faith. As the Quran states, "The messenger believes in that which has been revealed to him from his Lord, and so do the believers. Each one believes in Allah and his angels, and his books and his messengers." Surat Al-Baqarah 2:285. This verse makes it abundantly clear that we must believe in all of Allah's messengers without making a distinction between any of them. We must not, therefore, believe in some of them and reject some others, as did the Jews and the Christians. Defining Iman, faith, the Prophet also said in this connection, "It is to believe in Allah, his angels, his books, his messengers, and the last day, and to believe in the divine decree, both good and bad." Sahih Muslim 8. The meaning of belief in the messengers. This means firm belief that Allah sent a messenger to every nation and community, calling its members to worship Allah alone without any partners, that all Allah's messengers were truthful, virtuous, trustworthy, and rightly guided servants who strove hard to guide their people to the right path, and conveyed Allah's message to them in full, without concealing, omitting, or adding anything to it. The Quran says, "Therefore, the messenger's obligation is no more than to convey the message clearly." Surat An-Nahl 16:35. What does belief in the messengers include? 1. To believe that their message was truly from Allah, and that Allah had sent them with the same message, namely, to worship Allah alone, and to avoid false gods, as the Quran states, "We sent a messenger among every people, saying, Worship Allah and keep clear of all false gods." Surat An-Nahl 16:36. Laws may vary as to the do's and don'ts of the message with which prophets were sent to their people, depending on what laws suited their people best. As the Quran states, "For each community to which a messenger was sent with a book, have we appointed a law and a practice." Surat Al-Ma'idah 5:48. 2. To believe in all the prophets and messengers. We believe in those prophets whom Allah has named, such as Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. May Allah's peace and blessing be upon all of them. As for those whom He has not named, we believe in all of them in general. Those who disbelieve the message of one single prophet is considered to have disbelieved in all of them. 3. To believe the authentic reports and accounts of the prophets and their miracles mentioned in the Quran and in the prophets' traditions, such as the story of Allah's parting of the Red Sea for Moses. 4. To act according to the dictates of the law revealed to our Prophet Muhammad, who was the seal of the prophets and the best of all of them. Some characteristics of the messengers. 1. They are human, and the only difference between us and them is that Allah had chosen them to receive His revelation and convey His divine message. As the Quran says, "We have only ever sent before you men to whom we revealed the message." Surat Al-Anbiya 21:7. Therefore, they have no divine attributes whatsoever. They are mere human beings who attained perfect physical appearance and enjoyed impeccable moral traits. They are also the most honorable of people in lineage and enjoyed sound judgment and clear, persuasive speech, which entitled them to assume the responsibility of conveying the divine message and bear the burden of prophethood. Almighty Allah has only chosen messengers from among people so that they can set a good example for them, and so that people can follow in their footsteps, which they can possibly do. 2. Allah has chosen them from among people so they can convey the divine message to people. As the Quran states, "Say, I am only a human being like you who has received revelation. Your God is one God. So let him who hopes to meet his Lord act rightly and not associate anyone in the worship of his Lord." Surat Al-Kahf 18:1-4. It is clear, therefore, that prophethood cannot be attained as a result of spiritual purity, intelligence, or mental logic, for the task of prophethood can only be determined by divine will, and Allah knows best whom to appoint as His messengers. As the Quran states, Allah knows best upon whom to bestow His message. Surat Al-An'am 6:1-4. 3. They are infallible in the sense that they do not make mistakes when conveying Allah's message to the people and executing what Allah has revealed to them. 4. Truthfulness. They are truthful in their words and deeds. As the Quran states, "This is what the Most promised, and the messengers told the truth." Surat Yasin 36:52. 5. Patience and perseverance. They called to Allah's religion, bringing good news and giving warning, and were subjected to various forms of harm and hardships, but they patiently bore all that for the sake of making the word of Allah reign supreme. As the Quran states, "So be steadfast as the messengers with firm resolve were also steadfast." Surat Al-Ahqaf 46:35. The messengers' signs and miracles. Allah supported His messengers with a number of signs and miracles to prove their truthfulness and prophethood. A miracle, or mu'jiza, is an extraordinary event in the physical world that surpasses all known human or natural powers. It is performed by prophets, by Allah's command, for its credential value, to accredit them as Allah's true messengers. Examples of miracles include Moses' rod turning into a snake, Jesus is informing his people of what they ate and stored in their houses, the splitting of the moon for Prophet Muhammad. A Muslim's beliefs regarding Jesus. 1. He was one of the greatest of Allah's messengers, and one of those held in high esteem. Indeed, he is one of the messengers Allah describes in the Quran as having firm resolve, namely Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon all of them. About these prophets, the Quran states, "We made a covenant with all the prophets, with you and with Noah and Abraham and Moses and Jesus, son of Mary. We made a binding covenant with them." Surat Al-Ahzab 33:7. 2. He was a mere human being with no divine attributes whatsoever, whom Almighty Allah sent to guide the children of Israel and supported with a number of miracles. As the Quran states, "He is only a slave on whom we bestowed our blessing and whom we made an example for the tribe of Israel." Surat Az-Zukhruf 43:59. He never ordered his people to take him and his mother Mary as gods beside Allah. He only told them to do as Allah commanded him to tell them. "Worship Allah, my Lord, and your Lord." Surat Al-Ma'idah 5:117. 3. He was the son of Mary, a chaste, pious, and truthful virgin who entirely devoted herself to the worship of Allah. She gave birth to Jesus after miraculously conceiving him without a human father. His likeness